Missionaries and missions are often criticized as technologies of colonialism. The whole thing that Africa was backward and then here the Europeans came and everything was fixed, which of course is not true. There's enough evidence and enough other research in other fields that say, but actually Africa was quite thriving. When Europe had the dark Middle Ages, Africa had a booming economy, and so on and so on. And when churches came, it was as though they became the technology of colonialism. So the question is, when I say this and writing a book and being part of a European church and their influence in Africa, how do we think about missions, particularly in Africa? What should we think about the influence of missionaries in Africa? And did you address that in your book as well?
Yes, I think it does come out at different points. Sometimes with a positive emphasis, sometimes with a very negative emphasis as well. And colonialism and mission work is a very complex area because sometimes missionaries are against, sometimes they're working in cahoots, sometimes they're working alongside. So the story is never usually just one. There's layers to the story, and there's layers to the individuals that were involved. The issue of justice and injustice comes up in the book. It has to. And I think one of the very thrilling chapters to read is on the Congo, and to read about the shepherds and also William Morrison, who these missionaries, African American and white American, worked and labored together in the Congo. And they were the ones who were exposing matters of cruelty, injustice under King Leopold in the Congo. And they suffered a great deal for it. They were ostracized, they were charged, they were forcing deportation, all kinds of issues. And those things come out in the book. That there's another side, there's another story. The story is complex and it's varied when justice issues are brought in. Kimberly Hill is a very noted African-American writer whose specialty is Presbyterian African-American history in Africa. And I believe her video clip is actually on the CLF website for the book. And if you really want to see someone who writes and speaks concisely, that little clip of maybe 3 or 4 minutes, Kimberly just speaks into this issue very well. And I would just commend people to listen to that video clip of Kimberly Hill. And she also emphasizes one thing: relationships were the key to see how she has interpreted this whole issue of colonialism, justice, injustice. And so I would just urge people to listen to that. She has a wonderful chapter in the book under themes where this is actually addressed.